Just give me that countryside. That could work. And trips.
Huh.
You've got one of these big guys, and this is food grade, correct? And you got a couple little guys up on here. So how exactly do you get the water in there, and where does it come from?
This will be filled from the sump pump.
Okay.
So I got to run the hose and get the pump down in the pit and fill. I got to put a little bit of water in, test our seal. If it's not good, then I got to dump it and try and reseal it.
And then this water is basically
Strictly gray water?
It's gray water. I mean, you could process it, though, if need be.
Yeah, you can filter it and boil it and all that, but it's basically gray water, mainly for flushing the toilet.
I use it for washing dishes, too, but I boil it first, so anything that's in there.
And roughly, this bottom one's like about 300 gallons?
Yeah.
And these guys up here are like 55, roughly?
Yep. So that's about 400 gallons of water.
You got a nice sturdy stand that's not going anywhere.
Nope. Nice cement floor to sit on.
Scott is in basement, or ready to enter the basement. And he's got the generator going out and back, so he's got power for a small submersible pump. What he does is he uses the sump pump to empty out all the basement water, because that's contaminated water, and then he turns on the sump pump to pull groundwater. It's still water that has to be processed, but it can be used. It'll get pumped into this tank, and you can put a 5-gallon bucket under one of these guys. You can use that for flushing, and as Monica said, she can use it for washing dishes after she boils it and processes it to a degree. But this tank here is about 300 gallons, give or take. These two guys are 55 gallons each. I did some calculations. These guys would be in excess of 800 pounds, the two of them, on top of here. But this rack, although there are like parts on the bottom, maybe aluminum, I think it's mostly steel. So this thing is designed to hold 2 more 300-gallon guys on top of it. So it can handle those two. But what he's going to do right now, in a few minutes, he's going to turn on the sump, fill this tank up just enough so that he can see if this leaks, because he took off that white spout and cleaned up the threads and put some pipe thread on. He just wants to make sure, because he said he had an issue like that last year, and it's a big learning experience. So the setup he's got here, he has gutters that'll catch rain and melt snow melt off, but that takes longer. And it goes down into there. There's a screen as a filter, and this has a spigot on this side, so they can fill that up. It's gray water, but they can process it and use it for drinking if need be. There's an overflow here that goes along and goes down into this black drum, which also has a spigot coming down here. The fact that this one's black, it seems to not freeze as easy, but there's also an overflow here. So when you see it coming out there, you know that you can go ahead and get some water. So right now what he's got going is he had the water coming off. Look at this pump, which is a DC pump. He does not have a generator running right now, it's working, that can do the DC. So what he did is he hooked it up to a battery, which is hooked up to, as you can tell, it is hooked up to a battery charger. And that of course is plugged into an AC outlet that's coming from his generator. Now this water is getting pumped into a 300-gallon food grade water bin. You can keep that inside so it doesn't freeze over the winter. They use that for gray water. There's two black ones up on top too, but he's going to maybe put one up in front to catch rainwater, put it in by the kitchen. And they're not all that easy, right?
No. Actually, they are unless they have knots in them.
So when the dogs come into the kitchen and you want them out because they're in your way, what's the command?
No dogs in the kitchen.
Or go lay down.
Or no puppies in the kitchen.
Or get the hell out of here.